you know you're getting the most out of your car and wallet. You'll drive away feeling confident and relieved without breaking the bank. Visit BigChiefTire.com or call 904-932-0950 to schedule an appointment at one of the 4 Jacksonville locations. Big Chief Tire, we keep Jacks rolling.
Because injuries to muscles and ligaments don't show up on an x-ray, the insurance companies will use it as an excuse not to pay. But we work with doctors who can see what x-rays can't, giving you a case insurance companies can't ignore. Farah and Farah, here for you, here for good. Jacksonville.
Did you know that High School 912 has impacted over 23,000 students in our community in the past 4 years? High School 912 focuses on taking a holistic approach to guide high school students and athletes through academics, sports, and life skills to increase opportunities of success for students after graduation. Now's the time to make a difference in a student's life. Visit jackshighschool912.com/give or email Alan@airstreamventures.com. High School 912, changing students' lives one heartbeat at a time.
Having an active lifestyle is one of the most rewarding things you can give yourself. Dr. George Barry here, and at Barry Orthopedics, we know how important it is to be out and about, doing the things you want to do to enjoy a full life. But if joint pain gets in the way of staying on the field or in the gym, come see me at Barry Orthopedics. We have a team of orthopedic surgeons with over 35 years of practice experience in the field. Come see us at Barry Orthopedics with locations all across Jacksonville.
And don't forget, catch Dr. George Barry on Breaking Bones Sunday morning, 7:30.
Hey, Scarline here, and I know every Sunday I tell my buddy Tony, look, the Cowboys, they just aren't winning, but he puts his money on them anyways. You know better and pick winners every weekend, so why not get paid for them at MyBookie? Bet single game spreads, money lines, or parlay them together to increase your payouts with MyBookie. Low contest entry fees and over $500,000 to be won. Make it so you don't have to be a pro gambler to have fun. Getting started is easy. Visit mybookie.ag and use promo code 1010XL on your first deposit to secure a double deposit bonus up to $1,000. With action like this, MyBookie makes it simple to bet, simple to win, even for my buddy Tony. Make this your winning season exclusively in MyBookie, and don't forget that promo code 1010XL. Get that bonus with MyBookie.
This is your Southeast Orthopedic Specialist Local Sports Update. I'm Andrew Gibson for 1010XL. This update brought to you by your First Coast Honda dealers. The high school football schedule here in Northeast Florida has been scattered and shaken up after the storm. A reminder on our station on Monday, the Bowles Bulldogs will play the Episcopal Eagles Monday at 5 o'clock. Bishop Kenny will play Wolfson Monday at 6:30. And that'll be coming up on Monday evening right here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. The NFL and the Miami Dolphins are under fire after Tua Tagovailoa was thought to be playing with a concussion last night after suffering another one. NFL Chief Medical Officer Dr. Alan Sills told NFL Network today that Tua was checked for a concussion and symptoms every day since Sunday. Right now at 6 o'clock, 73 degrees. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air Conditioning. Stay cooler with Bueller.
This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Ah, right there. Yeah, feels so good. I mean, it really does. Right here on a Friday. For many of you, you've had a few days off. Hopefully, things went better than expected. Ian long gone. And, I know in my hood, things were a little nasty as far as debris, but for the most part, everything kind of was smooth sailing. Hopefully that's the case for you, regardless of where you have us. here on the home of the Jaguars because, as far as I'm concerned, prayers go out to all. But right now, it's time to get to some football. What a weekend it is, okay? Both Florida State playing host to Wake Forest tomorrow night, okay? And the Jaguars going on the road Sunday at 1 o'clock. Unbelievable. Could they possibly pull off this upset against the Philadelphia Eagles? And again, I'm not a power ranking guy. I never have been in the NFL. And that's interesting because I live by the polls in college football, but I think the reason there is the polls in college football are so important. And, even when they come out in August and you get the obligatory host or member of the media who will take you down the line, why do they even come out with these rankings? They don't mean anything. Well, I've always looked at it the exact opposite way. You want us to talk about college football during the offseason? Drop some rankings on us in late July, early August. The NFL is talked about 12 months a year. There's always something going on, and they just flat out get it. And because of the way the playoff system is structured, you can lose early, come back, play well late, get into it, and make a run. It's beautiful. It works, as it does in the NHL, NBA, and Major League Baseball. College football, totally different animal, okay? But with that said, the importance of this game for Florida State coming up on Saturday is absolutely huge. This team was 0-4 a year ago. They're 4-0 right now. Here come the Demon Deacons. Dave Clawson has really taken on the legendary jackass look. I mean, there are certain things, especially when you're at a wicked smart college and or university like Dave Clawson is, and he's such a good guy. I've talked with Dave Clawson several times since he's been at Wake Forest, out in Charlotte at the Atlantic Coast Conference football meetings. But the way he handled himself, and early on I read the headline and the byline, and I understand that, for Generation Z, let me take you through it because I get where you need things and 140 characters or less, or you just need a blip here to blip there. You don't read stories. You don't read books. You don't. Heck, we talked about it yesterday. This Jaguars team, it's unbelievable. They're averaging 6.5 plays a drive. Okay? This Jaguar offense right now is in the top 10 in the NFL in average drives of over 3 minutes and 10 seconds. I wonder, can Generation Z actually sit through an entire Jaguar offensive drive? I think it's a fair question. And I'm not ripping it. It's just the way it is. You're not going to listen to albums. You're not going to read books. You're not going to watch entire shows. You need it now. You need it right here, and then let's go. Boom, 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 boom. So if you didn't get into Dave Clawson and what he said, it's really just an awful look for him. I thought it was total disregard for those who could have been affected by the hurricane. It was all about he and his brand and his team, which I get. But you don't publicly state it that way. And, to say, are we going to have electricity on in our hotel room? Are we going to have food? Is there enough food in Tallahassee to feed us? It's just littered with stupidity. And it was an awful look for Dave Clawson. Now, those comments, those feelings, again, I get it. But that should have privately been stated to his athletic director, to the president, whoever the hell is in charge of logistics, who run the Wake Forest football team as far as travel. Those are absolutely major concerns. But to publicly stand in front of that very, very difficult Winston-Salem media and complain about that is a bad look. So what I'm hoping for. So what I'm hoping for now, JJ, is that Florida State kicks some ass here. That Florida State lines up tomorrow and looks to the other side of the scrimmage and says, "You are Wake freaking Forest. We are Florida State, and we're going to punch you right in the mouth. And we may steal your girlfriend after the ball game." That's what I hope. That is what I want. There is some fear in me, however, because of the Florida State defensive line. That is a beaten-up unit. This is going to be a very intriguing game where doing all the right things, where smarts really do come into play. This is a team at Wake Forest that is not as athletic as Florida State. Even though Florida State has gone through a downturn, they still have more NFL prospects. They still overall have better football players. Wake Forest does have some guys that make a difference, however, offensively. And those wide receivers last week found their way through Clemson. Sam Hartman is back. He just threw for 6 touchdown passes. This is absolutely going to be a high-scoring affair, which is interesting considering the last 7 times Florida State and Wake Forest have met. The under actually has come in. I got much more on that coming up here in just a couple of minutes. Sunday in Philadelphia, brotherly love. These folks threw D batteries at J.D. Drew. They threw snowballs at Jimmy Johnson. They got up and openly cheered as Michael Irvin was, at the time, paralyzed on the field at Veterans Day. I mean, look at all the reaction with Tua, deservedly so. But it's all been, oh, my God, is he okay? What's going on? These Philly fans, okay, they started doing shots. They started canning ball. You know, they were firing back doobies and then chasing it with a fireball when Michael Irvin was motionless on the turf. These are the worst fans in sports general. And it's going to be a difficult environment to go into. I was reading where they threw mustard packs on Joe Madden's 7-year-old daughter.
Oh, my God.
In Philadelphia.
Well, remember Santa Claus.
They booed Santa Claus. They've booed the national anthem.
Imagine in that game last night if the Cincinnati crowd just started, cheering.
Yeah.
As Tua is on the turf.
I mean, listen, all those fans up there
I can see that in Philly, though.
Right, all those fans up there are bad. I mean, where I come from, they're bad. They're bad in Boston. Although in Boston, they're more bandwagon-y. You know what I mean? You go to Fenway now, and you see the guy and the girl, and they got the green hat on and the pink T-shirt, and, it's like a 3-2 pitch, and, the game's on the line, and they're on their cell phone, sending out pics, and those are the Johnny-come-lately fans. I kind of despise them. The whole Neil Diamond, whatever it is, what's the name of the song?
Sweet Caroline.
I mean, that's a joke. Old school Boston doesn't care about Neil Diamond and that crap. That's a bunch of nonsense. The one thing that I will admit to Philly, at least they're true. At least they're supportive. They're angry. They're pissed, but they're consistent. And that's a tough place to play tomorrow. They do anything outside of reward Doug Peterson, celebrate Doug Peterson Sunday at 1. Then I'm very disappointed in this bunch. They could care less what I think. Okay, and frankly, I could care less what they think of me. But it's going to be an incredible setting for a football game. Big injury for them has been announced today. All right, Avonte Maddox, their starting nickel, is not going to be able to give it a go because of an ankle. All right, all of a sudden that firms things up a little bit for this pass offense for Jacksonville. Looks like it's going to be Zach McPherson, next man up at slot. After that, this could be the Josiah Scott coming out party. Okay, the former 2020 fourth-round pick out of Michigan State did nothing here but eat and go to the bathroom, and I'm told he was thrown out of a couple of bars down at the beach. But that's another story, which I'll tell you off air. Again, I do drink Miller Lite and Tullamore Dew. Can you imagine if all of a sudden what is he, 5'9.5", 5'10" on his toes, going up against Christian Kirk? That becomes a major talking point as well. What does Jacksonville do offensively to try to unsettle Philadelphia if Zay Jones can't go with the ankle? Do you move around the wide receivers? They've been working at all 3 different positions. They've been a little bit more consistent in the 3 games that we have seen. All of the criticism that came in on how can you pay this amount of money to Christian Kirk, he was a slot guy in Arizona, he's going to be a slot guy in Jacksonville, it's worked. Now, do you risk taking him out of the slot and putting him at flanker or putting him at split end? I say no. I say you keep him in the slot and you give Tim Jones an opportunity, who can run, and showed in the preseason that he can make some big plays. There's a couple of ways to look at this. If you remove Christian Kirk and put him on the edge, does that diminish now two positions compared to only having one that is diminished if, in fact, Zay Jones cannot play? Don't know, okay? We're seeing a little bit more on a week-to-week basis. I'm one who wants to believe that the more that this offense continues to grow and continues to gel, that you are afforded the opportunity to add even more. I want to see, I really do, I want to see James Robinson in the backfield, and I want to see Travis Etienne in the slot. Maybe that's your opportunity where you can put Kirk on one side and Marvin Jones Jr. on the other. Okay, put in Travis Etienne, put in Jamal Agnew, which they've already done with either Etienne or Robinson in the backfield. But I don't believe they've run it yet, and I'd love to see that. They didn't practice it much, okay? I think that may be just – it could be a little bit of tomfoolery here. You know, it kind of reminds me of, Laviska Shenault. Hey, have Laviska Shenault do this. Hey, have Laviska Shenault do that. When it came down to it, Shenault was very basic with what he could do. Asking him to do more than what he is expected to do can backfire. Would that be the same thing by putting ETN up in the slot with Robinson behind Trevor Lawrence? I don't know. We're not allowed to watch practice now that the regular season is underway. I got to believe, though, we've seen the coaching. We've seen how things have improved dramatically, both offensively and defensively. You got an opportunity there for some more weapons. Perhaps that could be something we see as early as this Sunday, or we may not see it at all. That's the beauty of it. Where were you 1 year ago today, JJ?
Probably in this exact same seat. Yeah, I guess. Oh, no, it was a Sunday, or a Thursday night. Mm-hmm. So I was here late night working the Jags lost to the Cincinnati Bengals.
Right. I was in Cincinnati, sideline reporter. I was enjoying a game that Jacksonville had an opportunity to win. They let it get away, and then everyone flew back home.
Almost everyone.
Except for Urban Meyer. 1 year ago today, Urban, co-ed, his bar, you talk about romantic. I mean, where's the Air Supply music, for crying out loud? Can I get some Barry Manilow for Urban Meyer? And just think about what happened then and where this franchise is now, exactly 1 year later. It is incredible if you really consider the lowest of lows, the locker room loss, the trust in this man completely gone. And here we are a year later with Doug Peterson and an opportunity to take the Jaguars into Philadelphia and knock off the only undefeated team remaining in the National Football League. All right, we're jam-packed tonight. It's going to be a lot of fun here over the next couple of hours. Coming up, I want to kick things off. My good friends over at Chinatry Chiropractic going to bring you the Florida State Report. I'm going to go into some pretty great depth here and detail here on how I see this football game. All right? It's there's so many ways you can go with this game, honestly. I mean, there's a lot of things that I'm still trying to digest. And I've actually watched Wake Forest play a lot of football. I watched them in their game against Liberty because it was an interesting game. At the time, I think it was La Tech that was like playing with Clemson and getting ready to knock off Clemson, and it was Liberty that was playing with Wake Forest, had a lead against Wake Forest, and I knew that the week after those two were going to play one another, Wake Forest and Clemson, but I caught a peek at both of those games, and it was really interesting. They were look-ahead games for both programs. But Wake Forest is very talented. They do have warts, though. Don't kid yourself. There are ways to expose this football team. So when we come back, we're going to do that as we get things started right here on this Friday edition. Obviously, a ton coming up on the Jacksonville Jaguars over the next couple of hours. Tim Brando going to play his interview coming up late next hour. Also, the Philly Rooster will join us later in the program to give us his picks, including where the money is going on both Florida State, Wake Forest, and Jacksonville as they travel to Philadelphia. All right, opening comments brought to you tonight and each and every night by the good folks over at Shmunez Vision. Why Shmunez Vision? Well, the bottom line. First of all, we're talking about 37 years worth of experience when you look at Shmunez Vision. I've been with Dr. Neil Shmunez since I got back into town in 2008. They're a family organization. They focus on personal, high-quality medical and surgical eye care. Surgical eye care. You may be thinking, what? So, yeah, they had a deep dive there about 8 years ago. I went in, removed a cancerous whatever it was, and there's been no setbacks. Now, let me give you a tip. You may be out today doing yard work, cleaning up shrubbery and branches and debris and all that stuff. Let me tell you something right now. Small twig gets in your eye, you got some issues. Vegetable material, injuries to the eye, even small ones can cause severe infections. If you wear contact lenses and you're out there doing work and you're not wearing protective glasses, do yourself a favor. When you come in, disinfect them, clean them, or just throw them away. This is often something that is overlooked when it comes to protecting your eyes. Dr. Catherine Shmunez, fellowship trained in cornea, cataract surgery, refractive surgery. Combined, that's more than 30 years worth of laser eye surgery experience. Call them today, 299-2906. Go to shmunezvision.com. Care you can see. Florida State, Wake Forest coming up next, along with the very latest on the Jags.
Joe Coward.
Are you like me?
Matt Hayes.
Let's keep this between us.
Mia O'Brien.
I'm adaptable.
And Leon Searcy.
Bring it in.
XL Prime Time.
Call for one and one for all.
Yeah! Noon to 3 weekdays on 1010XL.
This month, the Key Buick GMC receives 0% up to 36 months on Buick Encore, Buick Encore GX, Buick Envision, and Buick Enclave. The stunning Buick Envision is here, and Key has them in stock now. Remember, whenever you purchase a brand new Buick, it comes with the lifetime powertrain warranty and no dealer markups. Don't forget, we're your service headquarters as well, fast and convenient. Visit us today, Key Buick GMC, on the corner of Southside and Gate.
38 Special, firing up the big hits. They'll get you rocking Friday, October 21st at Florida Theater. 38 Special with the Kurt Town Band. Catch 38 Special at Florida Theater. Tickets on sale now at floridatheater.com.
All right, Ballou here, checking in with words of wisdom to be applied in life in your business from the business attorneys at Jimerson Burr. Let's go to Neil Young. He once said, and he actually sang, and I do quote, "The sky is blue, and so is the sea. What is the color when black is burned? What is the color?" End of quote. Thank you, Neil Young. Jimerson Burr, they represent businesses, all industries, all sizes, each matter with the same quality care, attention to detail, and respect as if they were representing themselves. Talk about it all the time, whether it's operational issues, transactional issues, money. You did the job, you haven't been paid. They're not answering the phone. They're ignoring your invoices. Can't have that, right? It's ruined your day. It may have ruined a few weeks. May have ruined months. Time for an attorney at Jimerson Burr. 389-0050 or go to jimersonfirm.com.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Hicken here. About 2 years ago, I had Bueller Air out to install the nicest system we've ever had at our home. Why did I choose Bueller? Well, they were and still are locally owned, and their service is immaculate. I mean, they really have the coolest guys in town. Right now, they even have 0% financing available on all new systems. So remember, for AC needs, stay cooler with Bueller.
Bueller Air. Stay cooler with Bueller.
Did you know Florida Bill SB 76 was signed into law in June of 21, giving insurance companies the right to require you to replace your shingle roof in as little as 10 to 12 years, or they can cancel your homeowner's policy. Then, in as little as 10 years, you may have to do it all over again. There's a solution. Replace your roof with a new metal roof from First Coast Metal Roofing Supply. A new metal roof from First Coast Metal Roofing Supply, insurance companies are allowing 20 to 30, even up to 50 years before you even need an inspection. All the details are at firstcoastmrs.com.
Every day you hear interesting and insightful conversations from national names on the Farah and Farah phone line.
I insist on complete honesty. If you have something to say to me, I wish you would just say it.
Brought to you by the accident attorneys at Farah and Farah on 1010XL.
Budweiser reminds us to drink wiser, like hydrating between beers. It keeps the fun going longer, and it's a commitment to responsibility. Remember, good times are ahead, so no need to overdo it. Know when to say when, and always designate a driver.
Leon Searcy here. You know why I'm happy? Thanks to Famous Automotive and Quick Lube. You know, when Big Search needs trusted repairs for my ride, I'm always going to choose Famous Automotive. No matter what part of town I'm in, Orange Park, Mandarin, Cassett Avenue, University, even St. Augustine, you always get consistent, expert repairs and superior service. That's no joke. And let them know you heard it from me, Big Sirs.
Famous Automotive and Quick Lube, servicing every customer like they're famous.
The summer sun is so hot. Are you staying hydrated and using sunscreen? Well, you have to take care of your health. But what happens when you're not feeling your best? That's when you need to see your primary care provider to help you get back to your best self. And this is where Millennium Physician Group comes in. We're always accepting new and same-day primary care patients, as well as most Medicare and Medicare Advantage plans. Just go to MillenniumPhysician.com to find a provider in your neighborhood. Millennium Physician Group, your connection to a healthier life.
Life is about choices and the decisions you make. I'm David Robbins with Epstein & Robbins. If you're convicted of a DUI, you'll have to face severe consequences. Walking through the doors of the courthouse or appearing at a bond hearing can be extremely intimidating. Without the right lawyer, you're likely to make the wrong decision. Let our team help you make the right decisions in court. Epstein & Robbins, the right choice.
Epstein & Robbins, fighting for your rights since 1975.
I don't know about you, but the big fella likes to party. And I like to tailgate. Leon Searcy here, your lemon pepper guy. This football season, you want Wingstop to feed your party or tailgate with mouth-watering wings for the big games. Check their menu online, go to specials, and try their $16.99 boneless wings or all-in bundle special. Or for your tailgate and large parties, enjoy the group packs with 30 to 100 wings. So party like I do this season with Wingstop, where flavor gets its wings.
Ballou here for Smoonez Vision. Why Smoonez Vision? Well, I've been with Dr. Neil Smoonez now since I got back to Jacksonville in 2006. 37 years of experience he has. Smoonez Vision is a family organization that focuses on personal high-quality medical and surgical eye care. Dr. Catherine Smoonez is fellowship-trained in cornea and cataract surgery and all refractive surgery. Combined, that's 30 years plus in laser eye surgery. Visit SmoonezVision.com today. Care you can see.
The easy way to upgrade your home is new paint from Coastal Painting Services. From exterior to interior, including color guidance and design ideas. Read their reviews, then talk to Chelsea or Joe at CoastalPaintingServicesLLC.com, like I did.
This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000.
I know just how to whisper, and I know just
Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Urban Meyer, Sweet Whispers of Nothing on a Side Chick Friday. 1 year ago tonight, Urban just said, "See ya."
Wow, I thought this
I'm going to
was
stick and stay.
I thought this was a female singing. They just showed him in the video.
Hey,
this is a guy.
This guy only, I don't know his name, but he usually is only the chorus. And the other guy with the guitar typically sings. I know my air supply now. Air Supply is one of those bands that can be good if you're trying to make a move. But it's not one that you're readily to admit to your bros.
If you're maybe in a Columbus bar and you pull a certain blonde closer to you.
Maybe we
as
should
you're standing by the pool table.
Are we on YouTube right now?
We are on YouTube.
Okay.
Search 1010XL on YouTube. You'll see Into the Night with Rick Ballou. Live button. Give us a click. Leave a question, comment, or complaint.
You can get us as well on the text line, 641-1010, brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. All right, let me tell you that. You know what I would kind of like tonight? A little bit of fun here. If I could take 30 seconds away from serious stuff like Jacksonville and Philadelphia and the Demon Deacons in God's country. What do you think Urban Meyer's pickup line was or is? Seriously. I mean,
He's the kind of guy that gets someone else to do it.
No. I disagree.
Oh, really?
Well, all of the, all right, the dotting of the I's, the crossing of the T's, all of that, I'm with you. But he's still got to deliver something.
When he walks up. She's prepared. She knows Urban Meyer is coming to talk to her. But he has to open up the conversation with something.
How about, hi, can I buy you a car?
Yeah.
How about...
you ever heard of Tim Tebow?
Right. Would you like to see my paycheck?
Yeah.
I mean, anyway, just give us one of those, and perhaps we'll have some fun with it. The great Urban Meyer, back on TV, hasn't lost anything. I mean, Urban's on TV. Guy's going to be at UCLA in a year. That's an interesting game tonight, by the way. There's only 21 teams left in college football.
10:30.
Who are undefeated. 2 of those go tonight when we see UCLA and the University of Washington playing on this Friday night. All right. More on the Jags in a minute. I'm going to spend a couple of minutes here on Florida State because I'm really concerned. Okay, now let me start with my biggest concerns, and I'm going to do something that I know may shock some of you Seminole fans. I'm going to build from there. Build from that and try to find a positive. Number one, Florida State turned the football over 6 times last year at Wake Forest. 6. They've turned the ball over 4 times in 4 games this year. I feel much better about their ability to protect the ball and move the ball. Okay? That's number one. Number two, which petrifies me. What is going on with their defense as far as their front four? They're all playing well. They're just not healthy. Okay, Jared Verse, the coming out party he had, the kid out of Albany, he hasn't been able to go now in a game and a half, and we do not know, and we will not know until they warm up tomorrow afternoon and basically until the defense goes out for the first time. And in a scenario with him, I think it's time for the obligatory, all right, even if he does go, how effective is he going to be? Fabian Lovett has missed a few games now. My understanding is he's not going to be able to give it a go. They think very highly of him. I talked with them in Charlotte at the ACC meetings. They love Robert Cooper and Fabian Lovett in the middle, as far as your defenders who can grind it out against the run. Robert Cooper came out of last week's game. Malcolm Ray, who started in place of Fabian Lovett, came out of last week's game. Now, Cooper has been spotted at practice this week. Ray has been spotted at practice this week. And Verse has been spotted at practice this week. We still don't know if they are going to play. Also, starting left tackle Robert Scott has been out. I think Washington has played well. He's got, more than 20 career starts during his career to begin with, but it is an upgrade if they can get back Robert Scott. That is my second biggest concern. Number 3 for me. Don't let me do this, JJ. Stop me from doing this. Please don't allow me to do this. Just don't. Ryan Fitzgerald, okay? I don't want to be the one to say this, but this young man's going to cost Florida State a game at some point. He sucks. There's no other way for me to say it. He is terrible, okay? Every PAT.
Oh, he's the kicker. Okay,
every single field goal. He is a panic, man. I mean, it's like when you're a mom or a dad and you're teaching your youngster to look both ways before you cross the road. This is like your youngster crossing the Buckman Bridge, for crying out loud. This has got terror written all over it. It's only a matter of time before a game comes down to Fitzy, and Fitzy's going to shank one, okay? So that's a problem.
He's got terrible stats really quick. So
he's a terrible player.
He's 4 of 7 this year. 3 of them have been under 30 yards. And then from 30 to 39 yards, he's only 1 of 3, and then everything else 0 of 1. So he really has made nothing outside of 30 yards.
Florida State needs to hold a tryout for someone on campus who can actually kick a field goal.
Yeah. His long is 30.
He's awful. Now, listen, Mike Norvell, the whole Tate Rodemaker situation, when we all thought he was terrible, including myself, I thought he was god-awful. We saw what he did when they flipped the switch, and he came back and got it done against Louisville. Maybe Fitzy shuts me up. There's nothing I'd love more than for Fitzy to shut me up, okay? But I'm sorry, I just don't see it happening. This kid is not a good kicker, and I have got less than zero, faith in him. All right. Florida State's linebacker play has been incredible. These are the best combo linebackers they've had there in more than a half decade, maybe 7 or 8 years. It's really been that good. This is going to be such an unusual game for them in their standard 4-2-5 defense, where you look at Deloach and you look at Bethune, they've been phenomenal. But the aggressiveness and the ability to not overdo that aggressiveness is really going to come into play. I know that doesn't make a lot of sense, but what I'm getting at, for those of you who have watched Wake Forest play, when Hartman throws the football, they're electrifying. He is precision, tight, throws the deep ball. He's got a couple of wide receivers that can become really problematic for anyone's secondary, including Clemson. I mean, the guy threw 6 touchdowns last week, and it was really a lot of fun to watch. Unfortunately for Wake Forest, it's almost like the rope-to-dope Muhammad Ali style, which was defense, obviously, in the fight game. This is offense. It's next to impossible to explain. I mean, for years, Florida State fans would get so frustrated when you knew you had to take on a Paul Johnson-coached Georgia Tech wing tee offense. It just created fits for all sorts of teams. And if you look at coaching and you look at scheme, Tech often won those games. They lost simply because many of their opponents just had much more talent. Okay? But the coaching and the scheme was phenomenal. That's what Dave Clawson does here with this slow mesh style of his RPO offense, his run-pass offense. I haven't seen anything like it. Both he and the back move right to the line of scrimmage in unison, looking for what the defense is doing. Have you put the extra man in the box to contain the run? If so, it allows those wide receivers one-on-one coverage with Florida State defensive backs. If you check there, double team, slide a safety over, whatever, all of a sudden, all the pressure is on Florida State's front four and those 2 linebackers to defend the run in what becomes a man-to-man scenario. And I just explained to you how Florida State is really injured on the defensive front four. So it becomes a pick your poison. What is Wake Forest going to do? Do they have the ability to dictate the tone of this game by running the slow mesh RPO? And can you get them at the slow mesh point, if you will? When they're deciding whether to run or pass, are these defensive players smart enough? Do they have enough experience to understand what Wake Forest is doing? It's far more complex than it sounds. Then again, it's not. If you haven't seen Wake Forest play, wait till you watch this tomorrow at 3:30. You're going to look at your wife next to you or your husband next to you. You're going to be like, Daddy, what did they do? It's really, really ugly. It's an awful look. It's like one of the worst offenses when they run the football that we have today in college football. But that's what Dave Clawson runs. Florida State. All right? 3 backs who can run. Florida State in this football game needs to be a little bit more methodical. Okay? Florida State wins this game by doing a few things. Number 1, can't turn the ball over. We've already given you the numbers. 6 turnovers last year against Wake. They got 4 so far this year in 4 games. Number 2, are they patient enough to take what Wake Forest is giving them? Wake Forest allows 30.5 points a game. Okay? Wake Forest wins in shootouts. Liberty put up 24 points against, 37 points were scored on Liberty by Wake Forest. 24 of those 37 came off of turnovers. So Wake Forest is one of those teams that loves working with a short field if they can force turnovers. Can Florida State do the same? Much like the Jacksonville Jaguars that we have talked about, who so far this year plus 8, 8 turnovers and plus 7 overall on the plus-minus margin as far as turnover takeaway. Florida State is having a really good season as well as far as taking away the football. So that's going to be important. When you get to the offensive side, Wake Forest does have some problems, and Florida State should be able to run the football right at them, and they also should be able to pass the football at Wake Forest. This game sets up incredibly well for a game in which Travis is asked to run quite a bit. Now, that's another totally different scenario. Do you want Jordan Travis calling his own number? Do you want him running the football? I have always thought that is where he is his most effective. He really hasn't run the ball this year. Look at his numbers. He hasn't had to. Florida State's been able to do it with their 3 backs. Florida State's been able to do it with the multiple wide receivers that they do have. This game is different. This has got Jordan Travis with his feet as maybe the game breaker for Florida State. I'll be very intrigued because I know how it is for Florida State fans. Every time this man runs the ball or does anything, you're holding your breath because as much as you love him, he just cannot stay healthy. I think this is the game that we see that. And if Florida State is able to put together time-consuming drives, okay, double-digit drives, take 5.5, 6.5 minutes, I think that is how you slow down Wake Forest and get out of here with a W. We'll see. It's going to be interesting. No doubt about it. This game could really go either way. I really want to see Florida State just come out and be loose and play their brand of football. If so, I really think they have a fantastic chance. But if they think too much and overreact, especially defensively, and then you allow those one-on-one scenarios with those wide receivers, it could be a long day. Sam Hartman is a very good quarterback. All right, when we come back, let's get to the Philly Rooster. Let's check the money on Florida State and Wake Forest. Let's check the money on the Jaguars and the Eagles. The Philly Rooster coming up. If you'd like to join us, you can as well. On our text line, brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures, the number is 641-1010.
1010XL. Home of the Florida Gators.
Here's Linda Beaver.
Hey, school's in session, and here's today's lesson. We have hundreds of certified vehicles to choose from, starting as low as $89.99, and they come with a 7-year, 100,000-mile peace of mind warranty. That means it'll still be under warranty when you can drive. Plus, every purchase allows us to fund teachers' projects the entire school year. Your next assignment, get to Beaver Toyota in St. Augustine or Beaver Chevrolet in Jacksonville. Your deadline is September 30th. We're here to wow you and our teachers.
Injuries on the job can cause you to lose control. I'm Glenn Levine from the law offices of Anajar and Levine. Money is not coming in and your medical bills are piling up. Our legal team is here to help. We can help you file all your workers' compensation claims to make sure you get the proper benefits you're entitled to. If you've been injured on the job, call the law offices of Anajar and Levine at 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000 for a free consultation and take back control of your life.
Office in Jacksonville.
It's time to celebrate with our best deal of the year. It's the 8th annual Lennar year-end celebration. If you're looking to move into a brand new Lennar home with everything included, the best time is right now with up to $50,000 your way. Use it towards closing costs, price reductions, HOA fees. Use it your way. Single-family homes, townhomes, active adult communities. Whatever you're looking for in a brand new home, find it right now with our best deal of the year. Save up to $50,000 your way right now during the 8th annual Lennar year-end celebration.
Out and about, you own it. In the know, you own it. On the course, you own it. At Community First Credit Union, you can own it all. Bank how and when you want to, and wherever life takes you with Community First. Get free checking with rewards and free digital tools that make managing your money simple and life simply better. Go ahead and own it. Add an account today at justbeyourself.com. Community First Credit Union, federally insured by NCUA.
Hey, Jacksonville, I'm sure by now you've seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We are an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We are committed to customer service, reliability, and have unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. GFL, green for life.
Are you considering improvements to the exterior of your home but dreading the pushy salesman with amazing discounts? Then don't. Call Kohler Homes instead. We provide an honest consultation, then pinpoint the best window no matter who the manufacturer. If you fall for the pressure sale, then you limit your options. Don't be rushed into that contract with a pretty discount. Let the consultants at Kohler Homes help you make the right choice. So visit KohlerHomesInc.com for all your window, door, painting, and siding needs, or give us a call at 904-580-3777 to schedule your free consultation today.
Rick Ballou for Carlson Dental. You know, I've been telling you this for quite some time because it's true. I hate going to the dentist, or at least I used to hate going to the dentist. I had total anxiety, and then I tried sedation, light sedation for cleaning and deep sedation as well for cavities and root canals. Folks, it's an incredible experience. So don't be nervous. Don't be scared. Go to CarlsonDentalGroup.com. That's CarlsonDentalGroup.com for all of your dental needs.
It's all about Tomahawk Nation on the Seminole Report.
I'm Fat Tony, and I'll take the Tomahawk to Tallahassee.
Brought to you by your local Ag Pro, your home team on 1010XL, Jacksonville's college football station.
Are you an electrician looking for better pay and benefits? Miller Electric Company has the industry-leading compensation package. Electricians are eligible for a signing bonus up to $1,000. Now, they're partnering with the Jaguars on their new performance facility, the Miller Electric Center. Miller Electric has opportunities for you to work on some of the most exciting projects right here in Jacksonville. Whether you're experienced or not, visit MillerCareers.com, an equal opportunity employer. That's MillerCareers.com.
After my surgery, my knee was back in shape after only a few months. I trusted Southeast Orthopedic Specialists with my daughter's back surgery as well. Both of us are great. We're doing exactly what we love to do. This is David Lane, and I seriously recommend Southeast Orthopedic Specialists for any orthopedic issue.
This is Dr. Kevin Murphy. Our team at Southeast Orthopedic Specialists is ready to help you too. We'd like to thank the coaches and schools who trust in our team at Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
W's and L's are what it's all about in football season, and you know you want to be a winner. Well, don't forget about calling Florida Home AC at 777-4300 before all your friends come over and that AC or heating unit conks out. You'll have that L on your forehead, and that sticks. Make sure your AC can handle the heat and invite the gang over for a win. Florida Home AC, the official AC partner of the Jaguars, with prompt and quick service to make sure you stay cool in the heat and warm in the winter.
This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. Now, another interview on the Farah and Farah phone line. Brought to you by the Accident Attorneys at Farah and Farah. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Walk. Run the ball tomorrow at the Demon Deacons. Run it right down their throats. Congratulations, the students. They have taken their full allotment of seats, 17,000. Reportedly, Florida state authorities trying to find ways to distribute more to the students. I mean, this has Dave Clawson and a punch in the mouth written all over it. And again, they came out yesterday, Michael Alford, the athletic director, and stated that if you're around Tallahassee or around here because of hurricane relief, you've been moved here, if you were involved as well in the recovery of Hurricane Ian, tickets for you are available at Dick Hauser, right? Show your Florida ID, you can pick up 4. So who knows? This crowd tomorrow, it's not going to be like it was against BC last Saturday night. We had 80,000. I mean, obviously people have gone in different directions, and, people in Orlando, Tampa, South Florida, what have you, even here, I guess, will not be making the trip over to God's country because of what we have dealt with here with the hurricane. Amanda's going. Amanda and Aaron are going. They just sent me a text, a former criminology alum. They're heading out right now. She's got a birthday, so I can't think of a better way to spend a birthday with a happy Noel than in God's country. Tonight, and of course tomorrow, against Wake Forest. The Philly Rooster is here. It is Doug Peterson week in Jacksonville as well as Philadelphia. Of course, the Philly Rooster does join us live from Las Vegas. How are you, Mr. Rooster?
Not bad, Rick. How you doing?
Man, I'm doing really good. The fascination of this weekend is just incredible. And, let's begin with Wake Forest visiting Florida State. You as a handicapper, as a professional, hurricanes have come into play many times before for schools down here in the South. Now, I would look at it this way. I'd just stay away for multiple reasons, logistically speaking, the lack of home field, whatever. With that said, do you have a good feeling about Wake Forest at Florida State tomorrow at 3:30?
Yeah, I think I do. I mean, this game is very interesting. As you said, there's a lot of facets to it. You have Wake Forest coming off a brutal loss in overtime against a really tough team. And college teams generally have trouble recovering from those tough games. It's not like the NFL. They linger for a week or two. And, I've noticed that over the years. There's some real good numbers on this type of thing where they come off of playing a top-ranked team. If they lose in a heartbreaking fashion, they generally don't cover the following week. But I think this game's a little bit different because Wake Forest is the healthier of the two teams. As you know, Florida State has some massive pieces missing on D and on the offensive line. And I think this line went a little too high. The look-ahead line on this game was 3. It opened 66 the total. It's up to 6.5. And today, a lot of 7s popped up in Vegas, and boom, within a heartbeat they were gone, and it's back down to 6.5. So that tells me there's some sharp money on that side, and I like Wake Forest here getting a full touchdown plus the 7. I know it's going to be pretty hostile territory for them, and I know they're a little bit, winded from last week, but I think they can keep this game close. I think it's going to be a nail-biter.
All right. And you know what? I understand that. Most of the money, most of the tickets have been written here on Wake Forest. That's the reason why the line has gone 7 and 6.5. 69% of the money, I believe I saw earlier today. Also, I'm a little bit surprised, considering the last 7 times these two teams have met, the under has come in, but I see that most of the tickets that have been written are on the over.
Well, yeah, you'll see that generally, especially ticket count. Now, there's 2 things. There's the ticket count, and then there's the money count.
Mm-hmm.
When those 2 don't jive, and generally it'll happen when the ticket count's on the over, but the money is on the under, that'll tell you where the sharp money is most of the time. Now, there are occasions where that scenario doesn't work, especially in California and in New York. But generally, when you look at a ticket count, it's really high on the over, and then you look at the money count, it's either even or on the under. tells you all the public's on the over and all the sharp money's on the under.
Yeah, I mean, tickets written, you could be putting $10 as a public bet. Obviously, the sharps are not going to be risking that amount of money. Philly Rooster, give us your information, please, so our listeners can get all of that from you, your Twitter handle as well as the website.
Yeah, at Philly Rooster on Twitter. As I always tell you, we have the Rooster hotline, and it's been on fire. We the last 3 weeks, we're up about 19 positions just on the free plays. And then the PhillyGodfather.com is where you get the premium stuff.
Let's get to the NFL. You're from Philadelphia. Okay, here comes Doug Peterson. Won a Super Bowl there in 2017. The Eagles, as we speak, remain the only undefeated team in the National Football League. How do you see this game, Philadelphia hosting Jacksonville?
Yeah, this is my biggest bet of the week. And first of all, let me give my love to Doug Peterson. And if these animals in Philly boo him on Sunday, I may change my Twitter handle to Jacksonville Rooster. I mean, it's just unbelievable. If they're ungrateful like they were in Seattle and boo this guy who gave us the only Super Bowl ever in the Super Bowl era and wanted to stay. And if you look back at history, and I was screaming and hollering when they did it, but we got rid of him for Chip Kelly. And the reason they got rid of him was the fans put pressure on the owner, and he bowed down to them for some crazy reason. And the reason was, we know now, Carson Wentz.
Yeah.
So you guys hit a home run, and we end up flopping in the wind with Chip Kelly for a year, which was absolutely terrible and embarrassing. Now we got this Nick Sirianni, but we'll see what happens there. But you got the better end of that deal. But on this particular game, the Eagles opened 7-48. The under took a lot of money. It's down to 45.5, and it's 6.5, 7. You can still get sevens out there. And I really love the Jags in this game, not only to cover the spread, but to win the game for a bunch of reasons. As you know, they are top 5 in both offense and defense, the Jags. They're +7 in the turnovers. And Peterson knows this team inside and out, and he knows Hurts very, very well. He was involved in drafting this kid. I mean, this is a perfect setup for the Eagles to, and I've been through it with this team for so many years. When they get too full of themselves, they are ready for a big letdown. And I think this is the week that Peterson and Lawrence come in here and wake this team up a little bit. I think it'll be good for both teams. But this is Trevor's coming out party in my mind.
Wow. Trevor's had consecutive weeks where he has gone north of 100 as far as the passer rating, has not turned the football over since opening day in Washington, D.C. Philly Rooster likes the Jaguars getting, an even 7 against Philly?
I like the money line. Plus, I took 240 on this game. Ooh. I'll take down as low as plus 230.
Wow, plus 240 to the dollar for the Philly Rooster. Sunday night we have a gem, and I honestly don't know what to make of this. I still can't get over the fact that the Chiefs lost last week to the Colts after seeing them here, a couple of Sundays ago. It just feels weird right now in Tampa Bay for so many different reasons, but what a great game we get at 8:20 on Sunday evening. How do you see Kansas City visiting Tampa Bay?
Yeah, this game opened Chiefs won. It's kind of a pick now, 48.5. The total went down a little bit. I think they're anticipating some wind. Wind is what you look out for in NFL games, much more than rain or snow or anything like that. And the Bucs defense takes the ball away. And the Chiefs, for some reason, are not passing the eye test with me. I mean, they come up with some good wins. They should have won that game last week. I mean, let's face it, they were against a bad team last week. They ended up losing that game, which is not like them. They usually win close games. I think they're having more trouble without Hill than they anticipated and anybody anticipated. And Tom Brady gets, a couple of his weapons back. It looks like Jones might play, definitely Evans. The offensive line is still an issue, but they had a week to work through that. I like the Bucs here at home. I think they're going to win this game fairly easy. This is a good test for both teams. The Chiefs' schedule gets a little easier moving forward, but I like the Bucs in this one.
All right. That is the very latest from the Philly Rooster. Hey, do you play regular season props? I mean, I I gave out last week Trevor Lawrence go over 246.5, and it came in. I saw this week James Robinson, 50.5 yards. I mean, that's got over just screaming at me. Do you play regular season props?
I do on occasion, and I saw you tweeted that, and I looked into it, and I ended up betting it. I think you picked out a gem there. I think that's about 4 yards too low, that total there. But, yeah, I dabble in the props. That's more Philly Godfathers thing. I'm more, sides, totals, an occasional teaser, and I like the money line parlays, but I bet that one, Rick, so it's on you if I lose.
Philly Rooster, I'll never be the same. I mean, you don't know how just incredibly honored I am to know that you're actually playing one of my props. This is one of the highlights of my 30 years behind the mic.
Well, making cash.
All right, give us the info once again, how to get a hold of you as well as the website and your the Twitter handle.
At Philly Rooster on Twitter. Give me a follow, and the PhillyGodfather.com. Come join the fun.
Best of luck with all your plays, Philly Rooster. We'll talk next week.
Take care.
There he goes. Yeah, 50.5 yards. Doesn't that look easy, JJ? I mean, that's like
Nothing's easy.
No, of course nothing's easy. Nothing is ever easy. And again, I don't bet. I'm just giving out free winners.
I usually stay far away from props.
Yeah.
Player props. I don't know why.
Right. All right.
Too many opportunities to have a Tua moment. The second you think something's so good and the guy gets hurt in the first quarter, you're just like, damn it.
Well, injuries ruin everything.
Yeah.
There's no question about it, whether it's college or pro. Anyway, we'll see what happens. I was going to mention something. I'm not because I got to take a break. I'm way past it. All right, coming up next, JJ and I, we make our picks. Also, Tim Brando, we're going to replay that interview that is part of our number 2 with Rick Ballou.
If it's just a game,
it was all that Dan Marino's fault. Everyone knows that.
Why can't we get over it?
If he had held the ball laces out like you're supposed to, Ray would never have missed that kick.
1010XL.
I don't want to talk about it.
Honda continues to impress with their new lineup this year. Don't settle for less when the best is just minutes away. We invite you to visit your local Honda dealer and see the vehicles everyone is talking about. Remember, only a Honda is a Honda. Come see us. We're dealing.
With the first pick in the 2022 draft, the Jacksonville Jaguars select Duck Duck Rooter, the best plumbing and septic company in Florida.
Congratulations, Duck Duck Rooter. So tell us, how does it feel to be picked number 1?
Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing and Septic Services is excited to announce we're a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When you need help tackling any type of plumbing or septic issue, call our team of first-round draft picks for the win. DuckDuckRooter.com. That's DuckDuckRooter.com.
Hey Jacksonville, this is 17-time PGA Tour winner Jim Furyk, and I want to invite you to join us for the Constellation Furyk and Friends presented by Circle K from October 3 to 9. Come see me and some of my closest friends compete at the beautiful Timuquana Country Club while enjoying great food, live music, and celebrity appearances. Tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster.com, and don't forget to reserve your seats for the Furyk Foundation concert on October 4th. Can't wait to see you all there.
Jimerson Burr is a full-service, Florida-based commercial law firm that has experience and capabilities to handle any legal issue a business is confronted with. Learn more about what they can do for you at jimersonfirm.com.
If you bleed teal and black, Perfect Rag Billiards is the spot to be. This Sunday, the Jags take on the Eagles in Philly. Kickoff is at 1, but brunch starts at 10 a.m. with $15 bottomless mimosas and Bloody Marys, along with wing, beer, and liquor specials all day long. If the Jags score, you score. Free shots on the house for every Jags touchdown. This is the place to be to watch your Jags home or away. Duval. Perfect Rag Billiards in Murray Hill on Edgewood Avenue.
Find your why in a rewarding career at the First Coast YMCA. Did you know the Y runs the before and after school programs at every public elementary school in Clay County? It's true, and we can only open up new spots for students when we have enough staff. And that means the Y needs you. The Y is an equal opportunity employer, and we're hiring youth program leaders, lifeguards, instructors, and much more. Visit your local Y for more information. Find your passion, find your why, and a career at fcymca.org.
Though no longer little, teens still need a lot of love. Yet teens in foster care have a harder time finding it, as 82% of foster families are home to kids 12 or younger. You can positively impact a teen's life as a foster parent with help from Family Support Services of North Florida. You provide patience, love, and understanding, and Family Support Services will offer specialized training, resources, and a community of support. Take the next step at foster-now.org. That's foster-now.org.
Home of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
The summer sun is so hot. Are you staying hydrated and using sunscreen? Well, you have to take care of your health. But what happens when you're not feeling your best? That's when you need to see your primary care provider to help you get back to your best self. And this is where Millennium Physician Group comes in. We're always accepting new and same-day primary care patients, as well as most Medicare and Medicare Advantage plans. Just go to millenniumphysician.com to find a provider in your neighborhood. Millennium Physician Group, your connection to a healthier life.
Concrete floors don't have to be ugly and hard to clean. Whether it's a garage with cracks, tire marks, and failed epoxy, or any concrete surface that isn't beautiful and maintenance-free, Shark Coatings will transform it. Our coating and warranty are stronger, more durable, and longer lasting than any other on the market. And because Shark Coatings is 100% UV stable for life, it's perfect for any concrete surface outside as well. Shark Coatings will let you reclaim those wasted hours spent pressure washing your driveway, patios, and walkways. Hit us up on social media or call 904-519-5055 to set up your free estimate today.
If you or someone you know want to make a difference in your community while developing a career, we have an immediate opportunity for you at the Boys and Girls Clubs of Northeast Florida. Starting at $15 an hour, training and a great work environment await you as you help create better futures for the next generation. Share your passion while impacting youth in Clay County. Boys and Girls Clubs are hiring in Orange Park, Green Cove, Middleburg, and Keystone Heights. Apply online at bgcnf.org/clay. Equal Opportunity Employer.
When you head out for a night with friends or going to the big game, don't forget the best game plan to win the night is to designate a driver and guarantee a safe ride home. Hydrating between buds is the best play you can make. Bud Light, reminding all to drink wiser.
This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. Let's go into the night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
No, that's it. I'm going straight to the bar in 1 hour. Are you kidding me? JJ, you're pulling out all the stops tonight. This is a hardcore rock and roll, run the football weekend. Love Dio. I mean, this is real music, kids. Listen to the lyrics.
You can see his stripes, but you know he's clean. Oh, don't you see what I mean? Gotta get away, holy diver.
Oh, by the way, some of you, a little bit rough on the Philly Rooster. Yeah, we do get it. Chip Kelly was before Doug Peterson, but he was on a roll. It's kind of like Animal House. And Belushi said, was it over when the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor? I get our younger audience right now is probably like, hey, Dad, the Germans didn't bomb Pearl Harbor. Anyway, watch what I think is the second greatest comedy of all time.
This is the thing
Animal
about
House.
sports
Caddyshack's
talk
one.
fans is everything has to be corrected. Like, you can't make any type of mistake with our listeners, which I love that about you guys. We're going to get massive texts about it.
It never happens. We are mistake-free.
Like, did you say Trevor had 11 touchdowns last year? It was 12.
Don't change, people. We love you for it. We love it. All the time. We're on YouTube, correct, right now?
We are on YouTube. All you got to do is go to YouTube. Search in the search bar 1010XL. Simple as that. We are the first video. Has a little red live button. Give us a click.
Philadelphia is going to be without Avonte Maddox on Sunday. He's got an ankle. He is their nickel. Zach McPherson, I guess, is next man up, followed by former Jag Josiah Scott. Okay? 4th-round selection out of Michigan State back in 2020. No stats. I believe he's been inactive so far this year. The big question for Jacksonville is the health of Zay Jones with an ankle. Okay, I don't think we'll know until 90 minutes, until kickoff. The same does apply for Shaq Griffin, who we know did not play last week. He's been limited, so got to believe that is going to be a decision that they are going to have to make as well. They have added a couple of guys to the injury report. Yesterday it was Cole Van Lanen, backup offensive lineman with a hamstring, and he didn't practice Wednesday or Thursday. Limited today, officially listed as questionable. The same applies now for Kayvon Chason. Okay. Ankle, that was discovered either last night or today, as he was healthy both Wednesday and Thursday. Limited today, he is listed as questionable. I want to say, there's not a lot to nitpick on right now with the Jaguars. I mean, everything is full steam ahead. But Dan Arnold and Kayvon Chason, if you're looking for what's going on, I want to say Chason played 4 snaps last week. I'll look at that again as we get ready to make our picks. And then on offense, I still think Dan Arnold's going to figure into this thing.
I forgot he was on the team until you just said his name.
I like him. I like Dan Arnold. I still – and now listen, I'm not going to go, dare I say, that they have not enough footballs to go around. I mean, I can't believe that would ever come out of my mouth here in Jacksonville. But it almost feels like that's the case. I've been asking for more Travis Etienne. He finally got over 15 touches last week. He had 16, 13 in the air, 13 on the ground, 3 in the air. I still think that Dan Arnold is going to be involved here when it's all said and done. All right, we need to get to our picks. Ballou and JJ. We do it each and every week. We make our selections. These are straight up. A little bit later on in the Bet Against Ballou, I will give you my particular selections against the spread. I can't believe I can't find the snap count. This is what happens again when Jags win. It's just amazing. I'd like to think I'm a pretty organized guy, have my crap together to get ready for the program, but I can't find the official snap count. If the Jaguars had lost, okay, I'd have everything right here, right in front of me, all the numbers, but unfortunately, that is not the case. Roll the music. Let's get after it. Ballou 6-4 last week. JJ 5-5. 22-14 on the year is the truth teller. JJ 19-17.
I'm going to go 10-0 this week, Rick.
I have so much on this matchup between Wake and Florida State, obviously, but the game that I am really excited about is Florida State's next 2 opponents. Mm-hmm. That's North Carolina State visiting Clemson. I think Clemson was really exposed last week in their secondary. Tim Brando, we're going to replay that interview later this hour for you. He thinks Devin Leary and North Carolina State going to Clemson and beat them flat out. I disagree. I think Clemson will hold serve tomorrow night at home. How do you see it?
I agree. I think DJ finally looked like the DJ of the Notre Dame game from a couple years ago. I think he might be back. I'm going with Clemson.
Okay. You are up. How about Oklahoma State Baylor coming up tomorrow?
Wow.
Yeah. Trying to get some different games in here.
Based on Baylor, they lost a game that I didn't expect them to lose earlier this year. I'm going to go Oklahoma State, who is that team who you always look up and you're like, oh, they're undefeated. They're in the top 10.
Yeah, to me, Oklahoma State's a throwback. Again, I was like, you're wheeling in Bass, you're wheeling in Trouts, and all of a sudden you get a little Kibber, and you're like, nah, it's no good. It's a throw. It's Oklahoma State. They're going to find a way at some point to just drop a deuce right in their pants. Give me Baylor. You like Oklahoma State. Texas A&M is an underdog at Mississippi State. Stark Vegas. Are you kidding me? We found the latest line here. Mississippi State favored by 4. I think Jimbo right now is turned into nothing short of a complete spin ghoulie. Okay? I think Jimbo finds a way. I really do. I think he goes into Stark Vegas and finds a way to pull out the upset victory over Mississippi State.
I agree. I think Texas A&M has a good defense. Their offense sucks, but I'm taking them to win.
They're both 3-1. They're both being looked upon in kind of a negative start to finish. However, this is an important game for both programs. Obviously, I'm talking about the Tigers. LSU in the Plains to take on Auburn. You are up, JJ.
I think LSU wins. Auburn is one of the worst teams in the SEC. I think they'll have a new coach next year. I'm going with the Tigers of LSU.
I agree with you. Jaden Daniels is growing up right in front of our eyes. Certainly that coaching matchup seems to favor Brian Kelly. Boy, man, Tank Busby goes down last year. Goes down in that game against Alabama. Everything would have changed for Brian Harsin and Auburn. But, yeah, you just get the feeling right now they are absolutely on some borrowed time. Wake Forest and Florida State. Don't do it, Ballou. Don't do it. You can't do it on Friday. You just heard from Dio. You just heard from the Philly. Don't do it, Ballou. Don't. I'm not going to do it. Give me Florida State tomorrow at 3:30. Give me the nose to knock off the Demon Deacons.
Yeah, when the Wake Forest coach did all this last week, that's, to me, it means he's not super confident. And I think maybe his team could read off that as well. I think it's going to be back and forth, but I like Florida State to pull away late and win by 2 scores.
Yeah, it's interesting, that whole mindset. I've always been one that wants a team to win before you take them on in college. I've heard Tim Brando, I've heard the Philly Rooster, I've heard others make the exact opposite point. For this team in this game, letting one get away, they may have been the better team at Clemson, but they lost. Can they recover? And, of course, they played a couple of extra overtimes, so both JJ and Ballou going to go with Florida State knocking off Wake Forest. All right, let's go to the NFL. Let's do that right now. We got 5 games on here to choose from. The first is a divisional matchup in the AFC South. You are first, JJ. We have Tennessee at Indianapolis.
I'm going to go with the home team here. I'm going with the Colts, just based on the fact that they are the home team.
I'm going to take Tennessee on the road here. I'm going to do it. All right, we'll go opposites here. It's basically a pick 'em.
Both coming off much needed victories.
Yes,
last Sunday.
Huge victories, and one of these teams is
going home after this.
Would
this
end
is
up
like a loser leaves town match.
Well, yeah, but the winner, if Jax loses and they're big dogs, the winner here. If it's Tennessee, they'd be 2-2. Jackson would be 2-2. If it's Indy, they'd actually be ahead by a half game. They're 2-1-1. I'm going to go Colts. Chargers at Texas.
Oh, so you're going Colts. I thought you were going Titans on the road.
No. I am. I'm sorry. I looked at it wrong. I'm crazy here. It's Friday. I'm nuts. I'm taking Tennessee. You're taking the Colts, correct?
Yes.
We got it down. LAC at Houston. It's a long trip.
Chargers big.
Yeah. I'm going to do the same. Give me the Los Angeles Chargers at Houston. All right, this may be the most difficult game on the board to choose from. That is Denver going to Las Vegas. I just think there's been a lot of criticism on Russell Wilson. There's a ton of criticism on, former Broncos coach, current Raiders coach, Josh McDaniels. It's almost like the loser of this game, even though Denver has a 2-game lead over Las Vegas, is really going to be difficult to come up from. The Raiders have to win this game.
Yes.
I think I'm going with Vegas at home. It's as simple as that.
I agree, just because if they don't win, their season's over.
Sunday night, you're up. Kansas City at Tampa.
No question. I think the Chiefs roll.
I hate agreeing with you, but I'm with you as well. Absolutely going to pick Kansas City in this game. Finally, it's Jacksonville. It's Philadelphia.
Ooh.
And it's the brotherly love. It's Rocky. It's Broad Street. It's Bobby Clark. It's the Watson brothers. It's Paul Holmgren. It's Dave Schultz. It's Bill Barber. It's Reggie Leach. It's Bernie Perrant. All right. It's give me some fighters. Give me my favorite. How about Ben Wilson? I loved Ben Wilson. Mel Bridgman, tough little nut. He'd rock your world. J. Bob Kelly. I'm going with Philadelphia. I am. And no disrespect. Okay? Philly is loaded. And if this game was here,
yeah, exactly.
I think I'm picking Jacksonville. But this is on the road. I got to take Philly. JJ?
Did you say Joe Frazier?
I did not.
Oh, there you go.
Imagine my embarrassment.
Bernard
I did
Hopkins, my era. Yeah, I'm going with Philly, but like you said, if this is in Jacksonville, I actually might pick the Jags. I'm going with Philly, but in a very close one, and I don't feel confident about it.
Frangie and I were doing a radio show. I don't know if we were in Phoenix or Miami or somewhere, Super Bowl show, and we had the executioner on, Bernard Hopkins. And
he is a fun interview.
Close to him.
Might have to hit the dump button.
Close to him was the California kid, Oscar De La Hoya. And they almost started throwing blow. He was on a St. Louis station, De La Hoya, and we had Bernard Hopkins on our airwaves.
You know what's funny is they work together now. They're co-owners of Golden Boy Promotions, I believe, something like that.
I don't think a lot of us think of boxers as smart, but that's part of the operation to sell the fight.
Yeah, you have to, even if you don't hate each other for those 5 weeks of the tour or whatever, you have to act like you hate each other.
Standings, Ballou 22-14, JJ 19-17. Coming up next, we hear from Tim Brendo. Let's rerun that interview. We'll take you up till 8 o'clock tonight. Then it's time for Hacker.
More Jaguars, more prep sports, more Gators, more Knowles, more Dogs, more golf. Plus original podcasts from your favorite 1010XL personalities. 1010XL.com.
Rick Ballou for Carlson Dental. You know, I've been telling you this for quite some time because it's true. I hate going to the dentist, or at least I used to hate going to the dentist. I had total anxiety, and then I tried sedation. Light sedation for cleaning and deep sedation as well for cavities and root canals. Folks, it's an incredible experience. So don't be nervous. Don't be scared. Go to CarlsonDentalGroup.com. That's CarlsonDentalGroup.com for all of your dental needs.
After a car accident, you can feel like you've lost control. I'm Glenn Levine from the law offices of Anajar & Levine. Our team can help you understand your legal options after an accident. We will file your claim and fight for the full compensation you deserve. If you've been involved in a car accident, call the law offices of Anajar & Levine at 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000 for a free consultation and take back control of your life. Office in Jacksonville.
Here's your 1010XL First Coast Community Calendar.
Sudden cardiac arrest is the leading cause of death on school campuses and for student athletes. Find out how to get free electrocardiogram heart screenings for all Nassau County school students October 18th through the 21st at whoweplayfor.org.
The Hometown for Heroes Home Buyers Program helps you get your down payment and closing costs paid. Call to learn more. 574-7180.
The Amelia Island Charity Golf Tournament and Concert featuring Morgan Evans is Friday, October 21st. It benefits Folds of Honor, and you can sign up at foldsofhonoraigolfevent.org.
The Farm Share Food Giveaway at Greater Church of God by Faith on Old Middleburg Road is Saturday, October 29th from 9 a.m. until all the food is gone. This is a drive-thru only event.
If you're involved in a community event and you'd like us to help spread the word, find out how at 1010XL.com.
Are you getting hit hard with higher costs and higher interest rates? Is your credit card rate going up every month? Hey, it's Prosser here. How'd you like to wipe out those credit cards before the holidays? It's time to call Loan Pronto because your home equity can rescue you right now. Your home value is still way up, and there's a ton of cash that you can get now. Loan Pronto specializes in zero-cost cash-out home refis. You can get tens of thousands in as little as 2 weeks. Pay off all those credit cards, consolidate everything into one super low payment. People who do this usually cut around $800 from their monthly budget. And even if your home mortgage rate goes up a little, it's offset by your current credit card rate going to zero. And when rates come back down, Loan Pronto will refinance you again for free. So don't wait. Call Loan Pronto. Do it now, and you can even skip your next 2 house payments altogether. Call 904-999-1508. Call Loan Pronto at 999-1508. That's 999-1508. Equal housing lender, MLS 1661781, subject to lender approval.
Your time is valuable. Say goodbye to tire shops and waiting rooms. Go Mobile Tires is a mobile tire business that comes to where you live, work, or play. We match anyone's price on tires, and our trained technicians mount and balance tires, program TPMS sensors, and repair tires. We provide nitrogen for free. Check us out on the web at gomotires.com or call us at 904-907-0999. On the web at gomotires.com or 904-907-0999.
When you watch the Gators game, Case Caroline will be watching too.
That's cool, man.
Listen for his instant reaction after every Gators game.
That's the crazy part.
Brought to you by Griffin Service. They fix what others can't.
I interrupt this program to inform you about a brand new cocktail lounge and sports bar on Old St. Augustine Road at Phillips Highway. I want you to be one of the first to visit Dante's Place at Rosalia. I've got plenty of TVs, comfy couches, outdoor patio seating, even live music. Plus, happy hour is every day from 5 to 7. Want to watch the game? Find your new favorite sports bar hangout at Dante's Place Cocktail Lounge at Rosalia's on Old St. Augustine Road. See you there.
Ballou here for Spunez Vision. Why Spunez Vision? Well, I've been with Dr. Neil Spunez now since I got back to Jacksonville in 2006. 37 years of experience he has. Spunez Vision is a family organization that focuses on personal high-quality medical and surgical eye care. Dr. Catherine Spunez is fellowship-trained in cornea and cataract surgery and all refractive surgery. Combined, that's 30 years plus in laser eye surgery. Visit SpunezVision.com today. Care you can see.
The roof is on fire or damaged or old, and you need it replaced. That's where our friends at Lockhart Roofing come in. Family owned and operated. The Lockharts will work with you and your insurance company lickety-split and make the top of your house look, well, brand new. The Lockharts are a long-time Jacksonville business taking care of Jacksonville people. So if that roof of yours finally needs to be taken care of, call Lockhart Roofing, 904-994-3851. That's 994-3851.
This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000.
You say you want a revolution.
Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All right, some folks upset with me for picking Philadelphia. Here's what I know. My Jaguar picks, I'm 0-3. I have a better chance of dating one of the Kardashians than I do of getting a Jaguar selection correct. Had them winning in D.C., wrong. Had them losing here against the Colts, wrong. Had them losing last week in L.A., wrong. Why would I pick them? Right?
The old reverse jinx.
Hey, it works, right? So for those of you, especially on YouTube, people getting on, what's the best way for our listeners to get on YouTube, JJ?
Go to YouTube. In the search bar, 1010XL, we will be the first video you'll see. Into the Night with Rick Ballou with the little live logo. Give us a click.
Tim Brando is a staple around here. He loves his college football, and I love my conversations with him. Talked with him last night. Let's rerun it. Tim Brando with Rick Ballou each and every week right here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Now, another interview on the Farah and Farah phone line. Brought to you by the accident attorneys at Farah and Farah.
All right, Timmy B is out in Austin, Texas, coming up at 7:30 on Fox Sports 1 on Saturday night. A Big 12 clash, West Virginia at Texas. And Timmy B joins Rick Ballou. Mr. Brando, how are you?
I'm wonderful, Rick. I've been thinking and praying about you guys. I hope you were able to withstand Ian for all it was of all of its power, and my prayers are out to everyone in that part of Florida where you are. I mean, I was in Naples just a couple of years ago on Selection Sunday, right after I did my last ACC tournament back in, I think a couple of years ago. It was 2019, and man, oh man, I feel for all those people, and I know everyone near and dear to you that you're concerned about as well in that entire region of the country. So thoughts and prayers to all out there.
We appreciate that, Tim. And, a lot of things shut down here along the First Coast and in Duval. But We're lucky enough to bring the folks here the very latest in the world of sports, and if something awful weather-wise does develop, certainly we'll keep everyone updated. You got yourself an intriguing one coming up here Saturday night right there in Austin. Should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, Texas is coming off yet another loss that has got everyone shaking their heads and has Sarkisian bemoaning, the lack of being able to, finish a game when you've got a 2-touchdown lead. And we've seen this act play out before, both pre-Sark and with Sark a year ago. And I'm going to tell you, this West Virginia team, Rick, is probably as good of a 2-2 team as I've ever seen in preparation for a game. They're about 4 plays shy of being 4-0. You remember the Pitt game that they had control of.
Right.
A big play happened late, and they lost that game. And even their defensive coordinator admitted to me that, Kansas really surprised them with the package offensively that they were running with their quarterback, who has been outstanding and is the real deal. And I think maybe West Virginia got caught a little bit looking ahead, and they got outplayed. But they still had a chance to win the game and didn't do it. I've known Neil Brown for a while from his days at Troy. He's a good coach. He's got an excellent staff. And now with JT Daniels, you see the problems Missouri's having right now over in the SEC. Imagine if Missouri had gotten JT Daniels out of the portal instead of West Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
How different their seasons have been, So great portal work by the Mountaineers and Neil Brown to get him. And I think JT is right now, as I look at this game, the potential of Ewers coming back is there for Texas. Hudson Card is an excellent quarterback, but he doesn't deliver the variables that Ewers does. So I think that's going to be the real question here. Does Ewers return, or is it going to be Hudson Card again? And then how do they get Bijan Robinson and other Texas skill people to hold on to the ball late? Texas Tech is really good. They earned that win. I thought Texas Tech could beat Texas.
Yeah.
And they did. But that said, if you look back at that game, and I did very closely, Texas had control of that game and just didn't take care of business.
Mm-hmm.
They opened the door, and Texas Tech took advantage and then finished them off. So the Horns have got to believe that for them to have the kind of year that they anticipated, they cannot afford a conference loss. You can't have a second conference loss now, not right before Red River. Can't have that happen right before Red River.
No.
And if you're West Virginia, you're like, my God, we should be 4-0. We're 0-1 in the league. We can't afford another loss. And we've already lost to Kansas in the league. And so I think both teams enter the game with a real sense of urgency, which should make for a lot of fun. There's 2 really big games in the Big 12. My buddies Jason Benetti and Brock Hewitt have the Oklahoma State Baylor game, which is very important. That's at Fox in mid-afternoon. And then our game at night, I think, is about staying in the hunt. If you want to stay in the hunt in the league, in your Texas and West Virginia, you simply can't afford to lose.
Yeah. I did watch that game, West Virginia in Va-Tech, and West Virginia gets some extra time off now to rest because it was a Thursday night game. But Daniels was very accurate that day, and they also turned around and ran it for nearly 225 yards. This is really a balanced attack that the Mountaineers have.
Yeah, they got 3 backs that are all game breakers. That's the thing that jumps out at you. As good as Daniels is, Mathis and Donaldson and the other kids, they're all 3 really, really effective backs that have home run capability. You run an inside zone running play that could break for 50 yards. So Texas's defense had better be ready. I think that's the bottom line. And you know what? If I'm Steve Sarkisian, And I know there is an embarrassment of riches in terms of their recruiting, 4- and 5-star players all over the place. But I've noticed this, Rick, with a lot of these schools that have brand names and they're trying to get traction, okay, and they've recruited well. I'll throw some of them out, okay? USC, Texas A&M, and others. I think the coaches get into trouble when they've recruited well because they believe they got to get all their skilled people touches.
Mm-hmm.
And as a result, a back as good as Bijan Robinson, who's going to be the first running back taken in the draft,
right?
There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
Right? He's only getting 12, 14, 15 touches per game. That's the best player, on the field. Keep him on the field.
Yeah.
And I think that this fascination that the coaches have about making sure all the egos are massaged, and a lot of that is because of the transfer portal. I mean, let's face it, a lot of it is because of that. I think it gets some of these coaches at the big-name schools into some trouble.
Yeah.
I really do.
I think it's a great point. I don't think there's any doubt about it. I never really thought about it that way. But if you looked at the preseason Heisman, it was all quarterbacks and Robinson, and he's just not getting the rock, at least early on. Tim Randall, our guest, he does have Texas coming up on Saturday night, Fox Sports 1, 7:30. Texas will play host to West Virginia. All right, let's spend a minute on Miami. I had 3 games up in my bar on Saturday, and, as well, I'm tracking on the phone, and I see what's going on here with Middle Tennessee State. So I flip it on one of my screens, and I watch 3 quarters, and I can't believe what I'm seeing. I mean, Middle Tennessee State completely outplayed Miami. They were the more physical team than the Canes. What did you make of that?
Well, there's a reason that the job opened up, and Mario's finding out that reason right now, okay? I'm sure he would have loved to have had some of those big hosses that he recruited into Eugene that I was watching come from 12 down with 3.5 to play at Washington State last week. They are not elite personnel on the defensive side. They aren't. Those linemen were being pushed around by Middle Tennessee's offensive front. That's why, again, all the conversation in the offseason about, the ACC being open and this or that can happen and Miami being that team, I think I remember telling you, anyone thinking Miami is poised to make a move this year and you're overlooking NC State and you're overlooking Wake Forest, come on, give me a break. Now, Wake Forest has a lot of work to do on defense, but their offense is legitimate. And North Carolina State, I think, has a quarterback that can play on Sundays and a defense that can stop elite players on the other side. And I don't see any of that with Miami. The quarterback, I thought, got a lot of praise heaped up on him, and I will admit that I was kind of one of those that thought Van Dyke was a better player than maybe he really is. And so I might have bought into some of that hype. But Rick, defensively, they just don't have the kind of personnel that you have to win an ACC.
Mm-hmm.
Even if the ACC appears balanced and or mediocre or weak, right for the taking, so to speak, it's just going to take Mario another year or two, probably 2, of recruiting to get them where they need to be.
Yeah.
By example, Norvell at Florida State is well ahead of where Miami is right now. I mean, well ahead in terms of the personnel. And then if you look at other programs in the state of Florida, the Canes have a ways to go, but they've got the right guy to supplement that. You can look at this year's team minus some of the players defensively that Diaz had, and I'm just going to say, Manny, they pulled no punches getting rid of him, but he certainly had a better defense than that defense I saw the other night.
Yeah, and Miami won 5 of their last 6. Their only loss was to Florida State. I talked to Tyler Van Dyke about this and Mario Cristobal about this when I met with them in late July in Charlotte at the ACC football meetings. They had all the momentum. And by the way, for the record, I think Manny Diaz is doing a pretty good job right now in Happy Valley running that defense. Josh Gaddis is a guy, as the offensive coordinator, is being really criticized in Miami. He's one of those guys who came into the season, on the short list, a 38-year-old man, looks to be a head coach in the very near future. Obviously, that's not the case 4 games in.
Well, he spent a little time at Michigan after being at Bama. You got that on your resume. It looks good. But you still have to have the Jimmies and the Joes, Rick.
Yeah.
And just, you watch a team like Middle Tennessee, which, by the way, is not in the upper crust of their conference, all right? They're not. They're a mediocre Sun Belt team. Now, that's not a great team, okay? By Sun Belt standards, it's not. And they pushed Miami around. Good program, by the way. It's had some really good success through the years for Coach Stockstill, but, they're not, even at their own level, considered an upper-tier team. I just think, people in our business now have a fascination with the name brands, and whenever there's, forget a big win, just a coaching hire that excites the fan base, everybody starts saying they're back.
Mm-hmm.
We're back. It's back. We're good. We're back. And they forget that to be back, you have to be on the journey for a while, okay? Right. Enjoy the journey. This notion that we have to be back solely because of who we are is just garbage.
Yep.
And that's one of the things that really bothers me about the way we cover or don't cover college football accurately anymore at the national level. When a brand name loses, fire the coach. The other team's no good. Wait a minute. Hang on a second. I've seen some of these teams. Texas Tech, after I saw them beat Houston, all right, in week 2, they went on the road, played NC State, and represented themselves well in Raleigh. All right, they lost, I think, by 2 touchdowns to a really good NC State team. So for them to come home and beat Texas doesn't mean Texas sucks. It means Texas Tech is pretty good. And nobody wants to cover the game that way anymore.
Yeah.
We just care about the brand names, and if the brand names suck, fire the coach. He's making a ton of money because the media just said in the offseason this team was going to be great. Turns out they aren't. So to save face, the media says, well, we didn't know the coach was going to suck.
It's a fascinating point, and I agree, but I also wonder, is a lot of this a mix of the fans now being involved in everything with social media?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
That's what I think
we
is.
We got pom-pom waving media members who buy a website for $250 and call themselves media. And they get credentialed by the sports information people and start showing up in press boxes now. I mean, that's what's happening, Rick.
Yeah.
And so the number of people that are credible that are actually following these teams has been reduced. Yeah, we got more media, but more media doesn't mean the media is really legitimate. It means we got a lot of illegitimate, pom-pom waving fans disguised as media. And then from the standpoint of the 30,000-foot view of the national media, I'll say it, we don't do a good enough job of covering college football. We've gotten lazy. We, too, fall victim to, well, okay, where are the eyeballs? Well, the eyeballs are on Ohio State. They're on Texas. They're on Michigan. They're on Alabama. They're on Georgia. They're on Clemson. We don't really need to talk about or really investigate the other teams. Really? Well, there are a lot of other teams. Pretty soon we're going to go to 12 playoff teams. You better start covering more than 4 or 5 teams.
You know what? It's a very fair point. It is. And out here in Jacksonville, where this franchise has struggled, many have considered it the 30th, 31st, 32nd best franchise. See, a lot of national people don't know anything about the Jaguars, and they're learning about them now because they've won a couple in a row, and they have a chance to go out and maybe win in Philly on Sunday. But with the 131 college football teams, you're exactly right. I mean, I think we're really top-heavy, and we're all about brands. We're just about out of time. Your thoughts on Florida State, Wake Forest. This is the first time in the Mike Norvell era at Florida State where his team is a favorite against a top 25 program.
Yeah, well, I think he's getting them at just the right time. I think the timing here is good. that was a devastating loss for Wake Forest because they controlled that game, had it, right in the palm of their hands, really, and just let it slip away. And in the end, I give Clemson's offense some credit for stepping up and scoring with Wake because I thought that's what they were going to have to do. You and I spoke here a week ago, and I thought Wake would beat them. But I also said that I thought if Wake didn't beat them, they would give NC State the blueprint offensively for success to beat them this week in Raleigh, which is my upset special of the week. I think North Carolina State will beat Clemson at Clemson. But Wake, that's the kind of loss, Rick, that emotionally is hard to overcome. And Florida State has better personnel defensively than does Wake Forest. And I think ultimately that's going to be the difference. If it does become a track meet, I like Florida State in that track meet.
How does Brother Bino see this one, or where is Brother Bino going to be this weekend?
Well, Cook, it's all over that early tilt. Don't take your eyes off it. It's going to be unbelievable. The Iowa Hawkeyes, Kinnick Stadium, named after a World War II hero. Iowa's playing Michigan. Iowa's got the worst offense in the country. Now, they've always had material defensively. And when you got material defensively, if you can get 2 picks and 1 special teams play, you can beat Michigan at home. The Hawkeyes are 5-1 against teams ranked at the top 5 to state. Take the Hawkeyes on Fox on Saturday.
And that'll be at high noon. Tim Rando on Fox Sports 1. He has West Virginia visiting Austin, Texas. You're flying the ointment game, NC State over Clemson.
Oh, yeah. Well, no. Flying the ointment. No. All right. Flying the ointment is about that team that's playing well. What did I tell you last week about my alma mater?
Oh, you told us, yeah.
Did I tell you ULM would take care of Lafayette?
You did.
Well, I got the double bonus for you. They've had more trouble with Arkansas State than they have Louisiana Lafayette. But they will exercise that demon in Jonesboro, Arkansas. Coach Bowden, that's right, son of St. Bobby, gets 2 in a row in the Fun Belt, going to Arkansas State and getting a W in my fly in the ointment game.
There he goes, and along the way, the exercising of a demon. I love it. Timmy B, safe travels out there to Austin. Always a pleasure. We'll talk again next week. Thank you, sir.
All right. Take care, Rick. All the best, and Godspeed to all my friends in Florida.
That was yesterday. We do it each and every week. Want to replay it for you on this Friday. Tim Randall of Fox Sports joins Rick Ballou weekly here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. When we do return, we'll put our final touches on this one, including bet against Ballou last night as well. I picked Miami. Oh, what happened since he covered? The latest on that next.
1010XL takes you behind the microphone.
You know what I could use is a cup holder and a couple of Advil.
Dan Hicken and Jeff Prosser.
You know me, and I'm a lot of things, but am I crazy?
Mornings on 1010XL.
Maybe I should get some pants on.
Safe Harbor Seafood and Market is one of the largest sources of fresh local seafood in the Southeast. This football season, when the family wants fresh seafood for game day, stock up at Safe Harbor Seafood Market and Restaurant, located in Old Mayport, or the new location in Crescent Beach. Award-winning seafood right in your backyard. Family-owned and operated for generations. Safe Harbor Seafood and Market. For store hours, go online to safeharbor-seafood.com.
Over 40 years ago, I made a decision to help people. Might sound simple, but following your passion never is. Big ideas tend to get bigger. What started out as one lawyer's vision is now a team of over 400 with an obsession. Today, protecting you and your family is more than a job. It's a way of life. Over 40 years ago, we set out to build a law firm. It's clear now that what we've built is so much more. I'm Eddie Farah, Jacksonville.
Hello, Jacksonville. This is Greg McGarity, President and CEO of Gator Bowl Sports. The Tax Slayer Gator Bowl game and events have been a Jacksonville staple for more than 75 years. We support more than 4,200 local youth annually through Gator Bowl charities. Gator Bowl Sports is a perfect way for local companies and individuals to get involved. We'd love to meet with you and talk about how you can join our team. If you'd like to learn more, contact us at 798-1700. 798-1700.
Does your home or building need painting? For over 20 years, Performance Painting has had the privilege of preserving many of Jacksonville's most prominent buildings. That said, we feel like we're just getting started. I'm Jason Parker, and our team thrives on preparing, protecting, and preserving the homes, businesses, and public buildings that make up our local landscape. Contact us today to put our years of experience to work for you. Performance Painting, prepare, protect, preserve.
Performance Painting! There's nothing like a good fish story.
This is awesome. Oh, you dang straight it's awesome.
The Moe's Southwest Grill Fishing Forecast, brought to you by Ring Power and Stack'em Storage Boat Trailer Storage. Thursdays at 6 p.m. on 1010XL AM.
Jeff Prosser here. Do you have a damaged roof on your home? I did too. So I had Ken Lawler and his team help me get my roof replaced through my property insurance. Ken, tell us how it works.
Jeff, our team walks you through the process and eliminates the confusion that comes with filing an insurance claim and getting it properly settled. It's all free if we don't recover money for your claim. If you have a damaged roof, call Fifth Element Adjusting or visit FEAclaims.com. If you're happy with the outcome of your claim, Fifth Element Adjusting will not be able to help you. Ken Lawler, DFS number P213199.
Estate cleanouts, hoarding cleanouts, old appliances, and even tools. There are tons of reasons why you or someone you know may need expert help clearing space. J-Dog Junk Removal will responsibly help you free up space. That means when they leave your place, it looks better. Whether it's you or a loved one that needs one type of clean out at your home, trust the veterans at J-Dog Junk Removal. Veteran owned and operated. Call 844-GET-JDOG or visit jdog.com.
Upgrade your grilling game to amazing meals with a new high-quality grill from Caladad Grills. Why Caladad? It means quality. Expert grills that stand apart from the crowd, like Traeger, Kamado Joe, and Napoleon. In stock today and built to last. Why Caladad? It's a local family business, so they'll save you money and time with free delivery. Stop by Caladad Grills at the end of Cumberland Park Drive, just off County Road 210. Caladad, they make it easy for you to grill like a pro.
Find your why in your next career move at the First Coast YMCA. Everyone can get involved and make a difference in your community at the Y. And if you'd like to turn your passion into a fulfilling career, the Y is an equal opportunity employer and is now hiring youth program leaders, lifeguards, swim instructors, and more. Plus, Y staff enjoy benefits including free YMCA membership and free childcare while you work. Find your passion, find your why in a career at fcymca.org.
You know the rule. Fall is for football. Yeah, but don't forget golf. The Golf Club of Southampton wants to remind you if football takes up most of your weekend, then tee it up during the week at Southampton. Call 287-PLAY and set up a foursome and see the great shape the course is in right now. When temps start to cool, your golf game should be heating up at Southampton. Check out the great things going on with the tremendous practice area, a course that offers tees for every skill level, and a great group of people to take care of you. It's all happening at Southampton.
This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
James Dean killed today on this day, 1955. He was only 24. And history tells us on this very same day, rock and roll was invented. Pat Boone, ain't that a shame? I know Cheap Tricks ain't that a shame, but I don't know Pat Boone's. And I just Googled it. Elvis didn't come out with his first album until 1956, even though he recorded some of it in 1954. James Dean, I mean, a legend, and, you know, I've seen so little of James Dean. I just knew he was a very cool man, kind of like you, JJ.
Whoa.
You know what I mean?
I would love to look like James Dean. Nice cigarette in his mouth at all times.
He made smoking cool.
It is cool.
Yeah.
That's why I had to stop. It's too cool.
All right, bet against Ballou. Last night I picked Miami. Okay, the bet is Cincinnati. Who's the big winner of $1,000? Ballou. This is fiction. This is Monopoly money, but we're going to do it again here. 29-19. I've won $8,100 going into this week. If you add last night's total, that would be $9,100, but we'll officially do that after Monday Night Football when we join you next Tuesday. Patriots, Hoyer in, Mac Jones out. 9's a lot, though. Give me the Pats on the road, getting 9. Minnesota, Dalvin Cook apparently is going to play the Saints. No Thomas, no Jameis Winston. Give me Minnesota -3, going indoors. Buffalo -3. Buffalo is ravaged and ripped apart with injuries, offense and defense. Baltimore cruising. Got it done in New England. You're giving me 3 points? Give me the Baltimore Ravens. Bad game. Bears, Giants. I like Brian Daboll. Give me New York at home in New Jersey against the Bears. Washington goes to Dallas. I'm going to ride with the Cowboys here. Cooper Rush, an opportunity to become the first quarterback in Dallas history to begin 4-0. Are you kidding me? I mean, with Staubach and Danny White and Troy Aikman and Dak Prescott and Don Meredith and Craig Morton. Wow. Babe, what was it? Babe Laughlin? I forget how you pronounce his last name, but he was a legend when he was there. LAC -5.5 in Houston. I'll take the Texans at home getting 5.5.
Laufenberg?
Yeah, Babe Laufenberg. Thank you. Tennessee at Indianapolis. I took Tennessee straight up. You know what? I'm going to stay with them here. I think you give me 3.5. I mean, I took them straight up in our wager. I'm certainly going to take them here, getting 3.5 points. Seattle goes to Detroit. It looks like DeAndre Swift is not going to be able to play. I like Seattle on the road there. Arizona at Carolina -1. By the way, that Detroit game's 3.5. Arizona, I'm going to take the point on the road. I like Vegas -2.5, hosting Denver. I like Pittsburgh -3.5, hosting the Jets. I like Atlanta at home, getting a point against Cleveland. Sunday night, Kansas City. I'll take them even in Tampa. And even though I picked Philadelphia to win straight up, I will take the Jaguars, getting 6.5 points. I think Philadelphia wins it by a field goal. All right, that's going to do it. We do appreciate all of you. The next time I speak with you will be Sunday morning at 8 a.m. Jaguars pregame, myself along with Andrew Gibson. Thank you to Tim Brando. Thank you to the Philly Rooster. I do not check the text line now that the show is over. I got to find a way to sign up on YouTube so I can respond to you. That's my goal for next week. If you want to get a hold of me, yes, if you want to get a hold of me, the best way to do so is on Twitter. That is Ballou, Ballou, 1010XL. For JJ, I am Rick Ballou. Hackers coming up right now. Again, I'll talk to you Sunday morning at 8 a.m.
Two receivers right, one to the left. Crowd gets